All right, sexual follies. So yesterday we were talking about analyzing this whole transgender craziness, and I didn't get a chance to bring in this New York Times piece by Andrea Long Chu with the wonderful title, "My New Vagina Won't Make Me Happy." I've never had that experience. New vagina always makes me thrilled, but this show has gotten out of control. You guys, you need to come in here with a net and carry me out of here. But there's this guy, I guess, who was about to become a girl, or about to be operated into a flesh-made girl costume, and she is saying, I was not suicidal before I started to take the hormones, but now I am, and I won't go through with killing myself because killing is icky. But he talks about the fact that the hormones make him cry and make him, more emotional and all this stuff. And he says, I still want this, all of it. I want the tears. I want the pain. Transition doesn't have to make me happy for me to want it. Left to their own devices, people will rarely pursue what makes them feel good in the long term. Desire and happiness are independent agents. So this person is self-destructive and crazy and is telling us that he's self-destructive and crazy. Desire and happiness are independent agents. We want things that make us unhappy. Well, that, of course, is true. We call that original sin. It is absolutely true. But it's not a reason. I mean, he says that the doctor shouldn't have the choice of whether to do something for you according to whether it makes you happy. If you want to do something that makes you miserable, the doctor should have to do it. But that's insane. I mean, that is insane. And it's amazing to me that they're running pieces like this that actually, they use this kind of pseudo-intellectual language, desire and happiness are independent agents. That's just to say you desire things you shouldn't desire. You want things you shouldn't want. We all know that to be the case. We all know what human beings are. But that is a very good argument for not allowing these operations to take place, for not doing these things. I mean, if somebody came to a doctor and said to him, I want you to cut off my leg because I like being an amputee, the doctor has a responsibility not to do that. And it's not what you want is necessarily not the guide to everything. This is really an interesting situation. I want to recommend a story to you. There's a story going on that was reported on our site. A Texas father is fighting for his son in court after pushing back on his ex-wife's claim that their 6-year-old is a transgender girl. The ex-wife is dressing the kid up as a girl, but the father says when he comes to his house, he offers him whatever choice of clothes he wants, and the kid always takes the boy's clothes. Read a short story. There's an old short story writer named Charles Beaumont. And Charles Beaumont, if you ever watch the old Twilight Zone episodes, he wrote a bunch of those. He wrote Printer's Devil, Number 12 Looks Just Like You, a bunch of very famous ones, and wrote some movies, but he was basically a great short story writer. Dean Koontz was very inspired by Charles Beaumont. He wrote a story, I believe the way to pronounce this is Miss Gentibelle. And Miss Gentibelle is about a woman who dresses her son up as a girl because she hates men so much. She says men aren't human beings, and if you want a human being, you have to be a girl. And it's a horror story, and really everybody who talks about this stuff should definitely read the story. It is worth reading, and it is a very, very frightening and horrific picture of the kind of sexual dysfunction that goes into some of this stuff and should be reported and treated in that way.